Hi everybody, this is Corey J. I am your surviving narcissism strategic. I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied today, y'all. This is really an informal live that I'm doing today. And I wanted to come on today because I came across this video yesterday. And I couldn't believe what I was watching. I really couldn't believe what I saw. You know, this is Heart and Soul Conversations, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Corey J. In case you're catching me for the first time or via the replay, I'm Corey J., your surviving narcissism strategist and your transformational life coach. And I help people strategically transform their lives after surviving narcissism and coming out of toxic relationships. But today, I really am just going to be talking about, did Doctor Who copy somebody else's story? Now, the person that I had this experience with, I call him Doctor Who because he pretended to be a doctor and he wasn't. So that's who Doctor Who is, so you guys can follow me. So this is a midday chat that I wanted to have. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. Comment for me so I can know that you're here as you're watching and I can acknowledge you. Hey Josh, hey Kevin, thank you for watching. Hey Peter, thank you for tuning in. So listen, so my story when it comes to narcissism and domestic violence and why I've been doing this for over a year now when it comes to Heart and Soul Conversations. I was in a relationship for 6 years with this Doctor Who. And we'll just refer to him as Doctor Who because I'm not, it is what it is. Started off really great, right? As most relationships do, you're in the honeymoon phase and everything is just absolutely amazing. I'm outside, it's hot here in Florida right now. Forgive me. Everything is absolutely amazing. Everything is great. We wound up, it seemed like we were the best of friends because we did everything together, okay? Went out on dates, went to the movies, went to the gym, worked out, had a business together. I mean, everything seemed to be pretty cool until it wasn't, right? Then he became abusive, and then all this other stuff started going on, the cheating, the lies, which were always going on, but it just took me 4.5 years to figure it out because I was very trusting. However, hey Reginald, thank you for watching. His story to me was that he was a physician, right? He was a doctor. He worked at the VA hospital in Atlanta, worked at several, whatever the VA has, sometimes he would be at this facility, sometimes he'd be at that facility. I mean, it'd be like I'm doing the night shift at the hospital. I'm at the lab at Emory. I mean, that Emory is a prominent hospital. You get into Emory, like you big time, right? Hey Aaron, thank you for watching. So this was the story he was feeding me for years. Hey Pat, thank you for tuning in. So he would tell me, hey babe, I'm doing rounds at the hospital late tonight, I won't be able to come over. Or hey, I'm in the lab, so I'm gonna turn my phone off because I can't have the phone on when I'm in the lab. I gotta focus. And I didn't even think to question, in the lab doing what? You're a neurologist. He told me he was a neurologist, right? Thank you, family. I am feeling better. I had just a little bit of a minor cough, but that's about it. Thank God, So today I'm just kind of going over my story because I saw something on this show called Real Truth, REEL Truth, yesterday, and it blew my freaking mind. Okay, so it had me wondering if Doctor Who copied somebody else's story. But so I'm going to backtrack to tell you guys, for those of you who are getting to know my story for the first time, what it is why I would think that he copied somebody else's story. So he had me thinking he was a physician, okay? He had me thinking he was a doctor, had me thinking that he was always in the lab, always going to, in the office. He would call me on lunch break. Hey, I'm on my lunch break in the office, just wanted to check on you, babe. All this stuff that had me believing he was a freaking doctor, okay? Until one day I found out that he wasn't, and the reality was I called the hospital looking for Doctor Who, and they said Doctor Who. That's how I came up with Doctor Who for this person's name, because the lady on the other end of the phone said Doctor Who, and I gave the last name, and she said, well, the person who works here by that name is a woman, and she just got married, so her name is actually changing in the system. I'm like, wow, okay, you gotta be kidding me. So I pretended to send a edible arrangement to his so-called office, okay? Because for me, it was like, he just called me and said he was doing rounds, man. You just called me and said, I'm doing rounds at the office tonight. At the hospital tonight, so I won't be able to. Okay, something didn't settle right, so I checked into it. So the next day, sent, I pretended to send an edible arrangement, and I was like, yeah, did you get the basket that I sent you, blah, blah, blah. 4 hours later, he calls me, you almost got me fired. I almost lost my job. Insubordination, my superior this and my superior that, and we're not allowed to receive. And I'm like, well, I called the hospital, which I did, and I asked, are doctors allowed to receive, flowers from their patients? She said, oh yeah, they get them all the time. I'm like, great, wonderful. Let me tell him I'm gonna do this, or I did this, just to see his reaction. And sure enough, guys, he was absolutely livid with me, because he went on along with this, he's a doctor thing, and he worked there, and I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. So he didn't know my father was in the military, so I know that if there's MPs, it's because you're on a base, a military base. But hey, I didn't say that. I was just like, hey Vera, thank you for watching. I didn't say anything about that. I just kind of let him go on with his spiel and cuss me out and how I almost got him fired. And I told my parents, and they can't believe that you da 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 da. And I'm saying to myself, I can't believe that you're lying about what you do for a living. What do you do? Who are you? Right? And then things just got worse from there. And that's why I started doing this Surviving Narcissism and Heart and Soul conversations and coaching when it comes to toxic relationships and narcissistic abuse, because of this particular relationship. Now, I had experienced it before, but I hadn't known what it was until this one, because this one was volatile after this moment right here that I'm telling you guys about. Let me tell you. It was crazy. And so constantly cheating, doing things just to get women. Some of the times he would say that he was in the lab. Negro was on a plane, okay, to somewhere else with somebody else to build a life out there for them. This is a real story. Well, yes, it's real, Aaron. I lived it. But I found out yesterday I'm not the only person who's lived this kind of a story. So yesterday I'm watching Real Truth, REL Truth, and another woman in Atlanta, because at the time I was living in Atlanta, had the same story but with a different person years ago, early 2000s, 2007 to I believe 2010. And this person did the same thing. Now, okay, so my doctor, who was from Chicago, lived in Atlanta, family relocated to Atlanta. He said that, of course he was divorced, and he had a son with his ex-wife, and his son died, and all this other stuff, right? So, of course, empathy. They want people to be sympathetic towards them, even though they have no clue what sympathy is or what empathy is. They don't care about other people. So they tell the saddest story that they can tell you to gain the tears and the, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I can't believe you had to go through that. Oh my goodness. Oh, let me cry with you. So they go all out. They tell the saddest story just to gain the most sympathy. It's really pathetic. It really is. But that's what he was doing, right? So the whole time I was with Doctor Who, I'm thinking that he's going to the hospital. He's calling me on his lunch break. He's in the lab. And then I started learning that it was really code for, I'm in the lab, I'm going to turn my phone off, I'm spending time with my other chick. I'm in the lab, I'm going to turn my phone off, I am on a plane to spend time with my other. We had what did he say one time? We had a luncheon for this project that we're doing in the lab. I'm working on some new meds, and got to meet all the parents and the family members of the people, the recipients of, right? And that was code for I got to meet my other chick's family. All right. It's freaking crazy. Okay. But this is what I was living. And I'm sure that other women who were attached to Doctor Who was living the same thing, maybe on different levels, because some of them were, a bit more successful than I would. They had high level 6-figure paying jobs and I didn't. I'm a flight attendant. I make good money, but I, 6-7 figures is not what I make. Well, 6. Yeah, I make good. Especially now, I make pretty good with business and everything. But back then, I wasn't making crap at all. So, these women he would be attracted to because they had a lot more than me. They were more stable than I was at the time. And, he could get them to fund his life pretty much because they were financially, they had it, right? I won't say fund his life, but he was doing whatever, pretended to be broke a lot. I mean, I came across all kind of emails, text messages, whatever. So yesterday I'm watching this story. And I wanted to know, and I'm doing this today because I'm like, did Doctor Who copy somebody else's story? Because literally, this other person, his name was Eric Pertise, lived in Atlanta, came from Chicago, pretended to be a doctor, okay? Said he was married, he had 2 kids who had died, his parents were deceased. This is the story he's telling the woman he was with, all the women he was with. Actually got access to the hospital he was pretending to work at just to get access to the women there. So not only did he marry somebody in Atlanta, this Eric person did the same thing. Tell her he's going to the office, told her he's going to the hospital, told her he's in the lab. I mean, he told her all kind of stories and pretending to be a doctor. Pretended to be a doctor. And when she saw a message in his phone, she called the number and it was a woman, and he got wind of it. He ran home and he wailed on her. You almost cost me my job. I can't believe this. That was my superior you were talking to. OMG, people. Narcissists are they are prone to cheating, first of all, okay? Because they need constant supply. Hey, Natalie, thank you for watching. They need constant supply. So one person isn't going to be enough, because where one person isn't giving them supply, another person will. But that grandiose idea that they create about themselves in their head, this bubble that they create, that they live in, that they have to pull people in to actually be a part of that bubble, they need people who believe their story. And when you stop believing their story, they stop wanting to be with you, right? It's crazy. So when I'm watching this story, I'm reliving, or not reliving, but I'm listening to the story about Eric Pertise and, his wife at the time. And I'm like, you gotta be, it's the same exact story. Now, his family, Doctor Who story, really was from Chicago, really are from Chicago, but he wasn't from Chicago. He from Atlanta, because he ain't grow up in Chicago. But at the end of the day, he had the same story, the same storyline, and Eric Pertise's story was daggone major news, So anybody who lived in Atlanta at that time from 2007 to 2010 would know about this story because it was huge, right? Because he did prison time. Eric Pertise did prison time for impersonating a physician. Hi, Eric Thorpe. Thank you for watching. So for me, I'm watching this back and I'm like, did Doctor Who copy Eric Pertise's story? OMG! You gotta be, I'm ready to curse because I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Are you that hard up to get supply as a covert narcissist that you will page for page copy somebody else's story so that you can get supply? What do y'all think? Comment. Yeah. Those of you who live in Atlanta who know Doctor Who or who know Eric Pertise's story. Hi, Karen. Thank you for watching. So today I'm just really talking about Doctor Who. Did he copy somebody else's story page for page? Because I happened to come across another story about another man in Atlanta, Eric Pertise, who did the very same thing to women in Atlanta that Doctor Who did with me and other women as well in Atlanta and California and Chicago and New Orleans and across the United States and probably in other countries, in other countries as well. It is really, really crazy to find out that when I tell you this story was page for page exactly what I had experienced, guys. It was page for freaking page, and I was blown away. Because initially, hey Robert, thank you for watching. Initially, I thought it was just me going through that dramatic of an experience. And I mean, when I say dramatic, I mean like really dramatic. You know, just the gaslighting and the physical abuse, and I mean, guys, this scar is finally disappearing after years, and I get chronic sinus infections just because of the broken nose, which I haven't really. I'm scared to have surgery on it, to be honest with you, because I'm hypersensitive to anesthesia and I don't like going under. But at the end of the day, covert narcissists are the biggest snakes ever. They are, because they have you believing that they're one way when the whole time they're being completely deceptive, undermining you, making you just draining the life out of you. 100%. Who pretends to be a doctor? Who the hell pretends to be a physician? Crazy people. People who aren't all together there. People who don't have self-love. People who have low self-esteem. People who need validation from others in order to feel alive in some sort of way, in order to feel like they belong, in order to feel like they are accepted in society. When you love yourself, you don't care what people think about you. You don't care about the next person's opinion, because the only opinion that matters is the one you have about yourself. Narcissistic people will prey on those who have low self-esteem and those people who are extremely strong, because that's where they get their supply from. I'm not going to stay all long, guys. This was just very impromptu midday chat that I wanted to come on and have with Heart and Soul Conversations and my soul tribe, because most of you have been following me for the past year and a half, and you guys have known my story. You've heard me share my story time and time again, and some of you are still in Doctor Who's network, and you've seen the drama play out over time, and so you guys know the deal. But I just had to come on and ask that question, because I thought it was really, really, really just wow to see another person's story identical to what I lived for 6 years with Doctor Who. I don't care who's offended by me calling him Doctor Who, but at the end of the day, that's what the lady said at the hospital, Doctor Who, because they didn't know who the hell he was. So, at the end of the day, that's the truth. And I'm only on here to tell the truth, and that's really about it. With that being said, guys, I hope you have an amazing afternoon. Really, what are y'all doing? It's Friday. It's Friday. What y'all doing tonight? Club quarantine? Yeah. Getting dressed up, putting your makeup on, going out to the living room. Turn the Bluetooth on. Turn the radio up real loud. Get your dance on. Ooh, 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 ooh. I love it. I mean, I'm out here on my patio because, baby boy's in the house, and I need some alone time. I need some space. This is the only place I'm really going to get it right now. I'm going to go inside and make some lunch and get dinner started. But I just wanted to have this conversation, guys. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate the constant support you guys have given me. Don't forget to share this information with people who may need it, because narcissism is a real thing. Sociopaths, psychopaths, covert narcissists, there are so many levels to this thing, guys. And it is serious. It's just as serious as the coronavirus, because you can die from it. You really can, because they will kill you, and they won't feel bad about it. Okay? Doctor Who tried to kill me a couple times. That's what I get for staying for so damn long, to be honest with you. I shouldn't have stayed. I should have gotten out the minute the lady said Doctor Who. When she said Doctor Who, I should have laughed. Anyway, guys, to thine own self be true, because that's the only way you can truly be you. And it is my goal that we be healthy, well, and whole, mind, body, heart, and soul. Till next time, ciao.